We will be. Welcome. Charles is on screen. Typically, if you don't follow the show, they're both off screen when I'm hosting, and then it comes in and it's just me, and it's very awkward. Hey, guys.
Charles is wearing a shirt from the set of Martin.
That's a good one, actually. This is actually just an Astros jersey repping for the home team.
Oh, okay.
So,
I didn't see the logo. There we go.
Yeah, thank you.
Astros. Boo. My Giants are off to a hot start. Loving it.
New York Giants or San Francisco Giants?
Oh, my God.
It's baseball, dude. It's baseball.
Yeah.
I'm from the
West
Coast. I'm from the left coast.
They are off to a hot start. Our Cougs, our Houston Cougs, are now not on a hot streak anymore, but they played hard. They left their heart on the floor.
Houston Cougs?
Cougars.
Cougs? Oh, Houston Cougars. Oh.
Okay. All right, let's roll. You guys ready to roll? We got a jam-packed show.
We're
gonna talk about Paxton v. Cornyn. Who's going to be the next OAG? We got tariffs. We have a new segment. And if your kids are listening, cover their ears. Also, why are your kids listening?
Yeah.
Bad idea. It's called Am I an Asshole? Am I the Asshole?
The Asshole. Yeah.
And then we got some other stuff we'll talk to. RFK is saying weird stuff, but then he is trying to redeem himself on Twitter right before the show. He must have known we were going to talk about him.
Maha is a scam.
Ooh.
Dr. Mary Tally Bowden just said it, and I retweeted it.
Oh, yeah,
famous for the Tucker Carlson guest.
Yep.
Can we get her on the show?
I think so. I'm going to message her.
Okay.
Charles likes Tucker Carlson now.
No, I like Dr. Tally Bowden.
Did you see who Tucker released today?
Sure didn't.
The
Alex Jones. That was yesterday, I think.
Oh. Okay, but before we get to the show, do the thing, like, subscribe, throw it on your social media accounts so we can share the love wider. And note, it is April 10th, and we still don't have the dang Epstein files. What is going on?
That's what you get for putting all your eggs in that basket. Michael was telling us up and down why this administration was going to release them. You guys got to be patient. The Kraken's coming. Just wait. Blah blah blah. You guys aren't true believers.
It broke. I broke, dude. I'm broke. I'm gone.
I love the Kraken reference. Is Megyn Kelly? Are we past her prediction at this point?
It's been way more than a year.
Yeah,
way more than a year.
About the Miami aliens, the Miami Mall aliens. We never found out about the files. Did we? We didn't get the MLK, JFK, or RFK files.
Those are on a longer timeline, but if they're anything like the Epstein files and JFK files released, we ain't getting the goods. So don't hold your breath. I am now 100% cynical, but when they do release them, we'll bring the Nothing Burger to you on the show live. But let's get to the first.
What happened to all of the? This is a real question. I don't know what happened with the Epstein files and the conservative influencers that got binders. What was in the binders?
There was just flight logs and previously released files.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just flight logs and names and stuff.
So they just danced in front of the White House looking like absolute tools.
Yeah, absolutely. They're on to their next topic, which we're going to discuss right now.
What's that?
So on Monday, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton announced on Laura Ingram's show that he would be running for the U.S. Senate against John Cornyn. This came as a shock to almost no one, as this had been rumored to have been Paxton's next move for a number of years. Paxton dropped the following ad on social media that day. So I'm going to show that if I can find it.
Did you guys watch Laura Ingram's segment live?
Do you sometimes call her Ingraham?
Ingraham.
I like that.
Paxton watched we're not going to watch the full 3 minutes or whatever this is, but I'll play some of it. Can you hear that? No.
President
for now.
You've said that you think it's time for the Republican Party to move on from President Trump.
You know, in politics, unless you can win an election, you're pretty much irrelevant.
John Cornyn of Texas told CBS News he simply doesn't think Donald Trump can get elected president. Quite a statement from Senator Cornyn.
Cornyn told Fox 26 he won't be supporting former President Trump, and neither should other Republicans.
John Cornyn supports amnesty and says Texans should just deal with millions of illegal aliens.
The American people are a compassionate people, then I think they would find a way to deal with the 12 million people.
He even fought to stop President Trump's border wall.
New giant wall from sea to shining sea makes no sense whatsoever. The idea of a wall is somewhat off-putting to a lot of people.
And when John Cornyn joined Joe Biden to take away our gun rights, President Trump sounded the alarm.
You know, there are some Republicans, including former President Trump, who are ripping this and ripping you as well.
John Cornyn has decided to take guns
There's
from
your boy.
lawful gun owners. And if there's
John
one reason, it's to prevent that.
John Cornyn doesn't share our values. It's time for a change. Ken Paxton is the conservative fighter they couldn't cancel.
All right. You get the point, right? You get
Yes.
the point.
Yes.
It goes on for another minute or so about Ken Paxton. Well, in response, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, Senators Tim Scott, Steve Daines, Pete Ricketts, I think a couple more, all came out in support of Cornyn. With Thune comes Senate Leadership Fund, which is rumored to be ready to spend $120 million to defeat Paxton in Texas. Ted Cruz says he's going to be neutral. He's friends with both of them. Charles, how excited are you for this? How excited are you for this race?
Not at all. I'm not excited to see wall-to-wall commercials and not be able to get anything else in because it's just going to be on TV nonstop. I mean, listen, it's interesting to say the least. Like, this is, for me, it's very exciting having been here for a decade and not seeing much movement at any of our statewide positions. It's very exciting to see movement at both the statewide federal level and the statewide state level. So I'm excited, but it's going to get ugly. I mean, the gloves came off day one. The Cornyn spokesperson statement, which just I thought was strong. And then yesterday, I believe it was last night, Cornyn, when he was leaving his office, they interviewed him, and I forgot exactly what he said, but it was something like con man and fraudster or whatever, which isn't, I mean, like, I don't know. He usually doesn't talk like that. I mean, it's day two. It's like, what is going on? So it'll be entertaining. I hope there's a serious conversation, though, about the direction of obviously the party and what we want in leadership so that we can actually make like a good decision. But this is politics, and that's not going to happen.
Do we have a good decision here to make?
What do you mean?
Are they both flawed candidates?
Oh, yeah.
From your perspective, they both have their clear flaws. So it's not like we got a great necessarily. It's not like voters that necessarily have a great choice. I think.
Stop. Wait a second. I want to hear what you think, Michael, but you can't just say both candidates are flawed. There is a very strong contingent of, I mean, Texans and MAGA supporters, Trump supporters.
Just going there.
Okay, that Paxton is like the fucking best
in the
fucking world, and he walks on water, and he's just a target of, some rhino dim smear campaigns.
No, he might be the best AG in the country. I think that is a valid. I think that the concerns that people raise about him are more his personal failings that they're concerned about in being in a position of power. I mean, obviously John Cornyn is viewed by that same crowd as a rhino, and he probably is. I would, say, yeah, probably. But I think the MAGA base and they already are coming out super strong for Paxton. I think it's probably his to lose, but to Charles's point, this is probably going to be the nastiest U.S. Senate primary I've ever seen. That's where my head's at. It's going to be hurling accusations. I think it's going to be crazy.
But they're flawed candidates. Okay. Is Paxton, what are the flaws? Not like, I don't really, Paxton has a sordid personal life. Okay. I think the accusation that he cheated on his wife, is that correct? He used a fake Uber account, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to relitigate the whole impeachment trial. We covered it on the show. I mean,
I'm not saying we need to relitigate it, but I'm just
Are you
saying,
asking what the flaws are? Is that what
is
you're
that the flaw? Is that the worst thing that people can come up with about Paxton?
no, they're going to say he's corrupt and that he was doing favors for a donor and using state
They will
resources.
say, what will you say?
okay.
You guys said that
Pull
he's
up, pull up Cornyn's statement, because Cornyn, I think, started this conversation. Well, didn't start this conversation by any means, but in his statement, he kind of summarized, I think, a lot of the arguments that side of the aisle is going to make, or not that side of the aisle, that side of the party, if you will. But yeah, I mean, listen, nobody's perfect. Every candidate is flawed. Generally speaking, I would think, like, I think a lot of the frustration that people have with Paxton, or yes, on the personal side, there are some people who are frustrated with stuff in the AG's office, like me with TPIA requests, but no one's going to care about that. That's not going to be relevant in this conversation. And then on Cornyn's side, it's everything we just saw in that ad, the lack of support for Trump up until, I don't know what, maybe a year and a half ago or so, when it became very clear that he was going to be the president again. So yeah, I think both candidates are definitely flawed, but both candidates are so defined by the base that they have these kind of entrenched groups that I think are going to stick with them either way. Now, whose group is bigger? I don't know.
I think the voting base, Paxton's group, was bigger. The money, and the power is in Cornyn's side.
Looking back at Paxton's 2022 primary, a majority of primary voters in that primary voted against him.
Yeah.
So I'm
multiple options, and a majority voted against him, but he still got the most votes.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I still don't quite understand. I mean,
you want me to say what my personal flaws are but I view Ken Paxton's flaws are from my personal perspective.
If you say, well, you're talking about the people there's two flawed candidates from y'all's perspective. And I think I understand Cornyn's flaws, his voting record and the wall, the things that, the gun right, the red flag laws, yada, yada, yada. Not great. What is Ken Paxton's flaws?
Didn't we just go over? Like, I don't understand what is.
I don't understand what you're asking. Oh, well, I don't know where he stands on foreign policy. My suspicion is that he's probably more of a hawk than I am, and then he's too socially conservative for my liking. I would prefer for the senators to be more libertarian in their positions on social issues, whether it be drugs or gay marriage or any of those things. I don't really care what people do. So he's a little bit more conservative than I like, but I'm not the target Republican primary voter.
Sure.
What is he's going to be attacked to, which attacked about, which is what I was referring to when I said he was flawed, were the things that came up in the impeachment trial. And a lot of people have really strong opinions about that.
Somebody just pull up the statement, because I think it lays a lot of that out in there.
No, I mean, has Ken Paxton showed his brisket? Because Cornyn's brisket, I think that's pulled pork or something. That's gross.
I don't think that's pulled pork.
I mean, that looks more like pulled pork than brisket.
It doesn't look like pulled pork. It looks like a meatloaf.
It has too much sauce.
That's ketchup.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Well, Brad, what do you think? Are you excited for the race?
I mean, I'm excited about it just because it's exciting. It's exciting that Cornyn, and it's such an established senator, is getting challenged by someone like Ken Paxton, who I think is, maybe is he a firebrand? I don't know, but he has that sort of persona, like the media portrays him as this, and like the things that I think there's going to be some excitement there. So I'm excited about it. I don't think it's going to particularly change. I think it's interesting also, Michael, you said that Thune, he's come out and supported Cornyn. So the Senate fund is up for grabs now for Cornyn. $150 million could be poured into just the primary to stop Ken Paxton from becoming a Texas senator, a Republican Texas senator at that. Why? I don't like it. Why would they want to spend $150 to defeat Ken Paxton at what plans is he going to thwart of the Senate Republicans?
Well, the what people are saying out there is that it's not his turn. When he needs to wait for Cornyn to step down. I think that's part of it.
$150 million.
That's part of it. The second part of it is there's a
the
lot of
American
people.
Government. What do you think? Like, I don't understand. What do you thinking? Like, of course.
Probably, I mean, you're getting too like Cornyn. All right, look. I mean, he's gonna? If you ask Thune, he's gonna say Cornyn's a, cornerstone conservative senator, and we can't lose him. Blah 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 blah. Can he say that he's more conservative than Ken Paxton? Probably not. He would, if he gun to his head, he'd probably say they're both just as conservative. So it doesn't really matter in Thune's eyes who gets picked because they're both conservative Republicans. We all know that Ken Paxton's probably more conservative. I don't know what you're shaking your head about. It doesn't really matter.
The U.S. Senate and the Senate Majority Fund is not concerned about who's more conservative, less conservative. That's not the barometer that they're using. Yeah. They're also not MAGA.
Right. So what I'm saying is they could probably put the $150 million towards a different seat that could probably use it to maybe flip it or, get it closer to flipping by the next time or something like that, rather than wasting on a secured Republican seat.
Well,
maybe he thinks Cornyn that Ken Paxton would lose in the general, which is possible. It's going to be harder for Paxton.
There's an argument that was made in the primary for Attorney General too. Like, I mean, is it a fair argument? Do I think I think it's a fair argument to make. I don't know that it ferrets out in the end, but it's a fair argument to make. Listen, Cornyn's been there since 2005. John Thune's been there since 2002. Yes, they're going to spend that much money on them because they want their guy back. Like, this is the U.S. Senate. Like, they want their guy back. They don't want this outsider.
Yeah, I understand. It's all insider bullshit, and they have their intern twinks having sex on the Senate floor. I get it. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's politics. But as an outsider looking in, I'm just saying people would look at that and hear that and they think, why would they do that? It's $150 million against a Republican that's also they're both Republicans. Why are you spending that much money? It's not Robert Morrow. That's a local reference. You're not defeating somebody that's a disgusting human that just doesn't actually care. They're both politicians, but you know what you're getting. Why not spend that money somewhere else? I don't know. This is not a good example probably, but Vermont or New Hampshire, defeating Elizabeth Warren over a couple cycles. Wouldn't that be better use of the money? Again, I don't know if that's even possible. Pick a more likely scenario, please, if that doesn't make sense.
No, it makes sense, but you're using too much logic. The Senate fund is there to protect the members, not to necessarily. I mean, it is also to expand the majority, but it's going to go to protect the existing members first. I do think that there are a contingent in the Republican politics, both in the consultant class and in the donor class, who view Ken Paxton personally on par with how they would view Robert Morrow if they knew who he was. So I do think that there is disdain for him that is driving some of this for sure.
Yeah.
But voters get to decide. It's going to be wild. I'm excited to see what goes down.
Yeah.
And
give us.
I'm not. Should we predict today? No, let's not predict today.
No, we need to predict. We need to predict.
Well, we don't even know who else is getting in the race.
We make yearly predictions about stuff that we have no clue about.
Yeah, but we could predict after the filing deadline.
There's no. Who cares the filing deadline? Are they going to file or not? They're filing.
There are other candidates that might get in the race.
There's no one that's going to beat those two.
Isn't Wesley Hunt getting in the race? Is that
there's talk?
Yeah.
No. So let's pick now. And then
go, Brad.
I'm not picking
go,
now.
Brad.
Hunt,
go, Brad.
Hunt enters, then you can change your vote.
Brad, go.
Then what's the point of picking now if you can change your vote later?
I think that Paxton wins the general and in the primary. In the general, I think it's a closer margin than Cruz v. Beto.
Ooh, prediction. Charles, you don't have to predict. You just let me and Brad put ourselves out on a limb. Paxton continues his streak. I don't think he's ever lost an election. He wins the primary here, wins the general, and becomes U.S. Senator.
You're not gonna give an over under on the final tally for the general. I said closer than the Cruz Beto.
No, I think. What was that? 2 points?
I don't even know who his opponent will be, and I'm saying it's gonna be closer.
2 points? Was it?
No,
he wins by more.
It was.
He wins by more.
Yeah, it was. 2 points as well.
Yeah, he wins by more than 2.
2 million votes.
All right. move on. But it's a kind of similar topic, or not similar. It's adjacent. So under the scenario Brad and I just laid out, Texas will be without an attorney general. And there are all sorts of names floating out there we're hearing. I've heard, let's see, Congressman Chip Roy, Senator Brian Hughes, Senator Mays Middleton, and then this John Bash guy who's Elon Musk's lawyer.
And
also
former,
Mitchell,
I think, Trump appointee as a U.S. attorney, if I'm not mistaken.
U.S. Attorney District, yes, correct. I met him at some event where Kirk Watson was speaking, and he didn't strike me as the kind of guy that would run for OAG, but okay, go for it, John Bash. So Charles, I'm gonna go to you since you didn't.
And you didn't say Chris Gober.
Chris Gober?
Did you see that? There was a tweet before. Brandon Walton just said that Chris Gober said that he is strongly considering running for AG.
Dang. And then I heard Mitch Little. Those are the names I've heard. Adam Lowy, friend of the show, even though he doesn't like what
Adam's running,
is not running. He has confirmed on the X he's not running. He confirms for every race that comes up that people speculate he's going to run for. He is not running. So Charles, are you even remotely excited about this race? Do you have a dog in the hunt?
No.
Oh, you're excited about OAG.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about it because that's where I get my open records request. Right now I don't, but maybe with the next administration we will. Oh, did I not see, I don't know if his name was in the mix, but he commented on it. Matt Rinaldi, somebody had put his name out there, and I don't know. I can't remember what he said. I don't think he denied it, but yeah, no, I'm excited about this because it has a direct impact on a lot of the work that I do at the local level. I mean, it would be great to get things through the public information unit, if you will, and public corruption is obviously a big thing too, and so it would be nice to see to moving on that for the local over here. So yeah, I'm very excited about this race. Now, do I have a dog in the fight? Not really. I mean, I think they're all really solid. Mays Middleton, I would be incredibly happy with, and especially because that's someone who's constantly spoken out about TPIA, and so I know that would be an AG's office that responded well to it. This new guy, Bash, you said it was. I think his last name was. He's interesting resume. Sounds promising, but I don't know anything about him. Mitch Little, I don't know. I know who he is, obviously, know where he stands at the legislature. I'd be curious to find out a little bit more about some of the things that deal specifically with the AG's office. Out of his budget amendments, I keep saying that he has all these budget amendments to give the AG's office more money. I think one was to reimburse Paxton $65,000. Another was to increase AG staff salaries by 6% or something. And then there were some other names in there. I don't know Chris Gober well. I mean, I know him kind of through the political world, but I don't know him well. But I mean, it's exciting. That's a number of exciting candidates. And also, we're going to have an open comptroller's race, which is a far less exciting race, but also important.
Vines. Woo! I don't particularly at this juncture, honestly, I don't care.
You always talk about how the Public Information and Public Meetings Act don't get followed.
I never once go to the I've had to deal with the OAG's office before and trying to get the city of Austin to do something. And it was as I would expect from a government agency. It wasn't terrible, but it was manageable. And the person that I spoke to on the phone was rather grumpy every time I spoke to them on the phone. Is a new attorney general going to fix that man's attitude? Probably not. And what?
When you submit requests and the city denies them, what do you do?
Sometimes I will go to the OAG, not all the time.
And do they usually side with you?
The OAG sided with me once, and it still was like the city of Austin has 30 days to respond, and then the city of Austin responds. And it was really stupid and annoying. It just slowed everything down.
Do you not find it problematic that they've only sided with you once?
I haven't gone all the way to the OAG that often, to be honest.
Oh, well,
you should vote for you should give money to and vote for whichever candidate says all this stuff should be online, available immediately for everyone to see.
Yes, if I can work on that candidate's campaign, any candidate's campaign, it will be under the stipulation that that must be a policy position.
But also, to a point, just to clarify, you don't have to go to the OAG. Once they contest it, it goes there. You don't have to do anything. So if you're just not getting it back, that means they're not siding with you.
Okay.
So the problem.
Right. I'm saying that is a very specific problem that's not going to be solved by this attorney general's race.
Could
Why
be.
not?
It's not going to happen unless somebody starts something to make it happen, and it's not going to be one of these people. The attorney general of Texas, any candidate, they're not going to do that. The second they do that and say that all public information should be readily available and free, yes, that is the moral and right and ethical thing to do. I think it would be fucking awesome. The second they do that, they're not going to get funding for their campaign anymore. It has to be done in a different way. It has to be a different route.
Well, I'm not even saying that they're going to go and run on a campaign of putting all the information online immediately. I'm saying that they're going to be more responsive and side with citizens more than the current administration.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
I agree. I don't know who.
I don't know. I just, for someone who's so passionate about this issue, I thought you would be more interested in this race.
I am interested. I don't know who. None of these people have said anything on that specific thing. I don't care at this point because I don't know. Is Roy even running? I don't know. Does anybody know who's running?
No, it's all speculation.
You just wanted to make a speculation on the Senate race, and we don't even know who's all going to be in that one.
Because it doesn't matter in the primary. It's Cornyn or Paxton.
Well, we could solve it by having all those candidates when they are declared on the show, and Brad can ask them over and over again until he gets the answer he wants.
Forever.
No, I'll ask them because he doesn't seem to care about this.
No,
issue.
I'll ask them because this is my deal, not yours.
For those who are curious, we got a lot of good candidates. I'm excited for a lot of these guys. So would love for Mays to be OAG, Brian Hughes, Chip Roy. Any of these guys sound great. So I don't know. I think a big part of the OAG, at least in the last, for Paxton, has been pushing back on some of the federal stuff that was happening under the Biden administration. So I see all these guys as picking up that torch and fighting that stuff. So I don't really have a particular dog in the race, and I'm not as excited about this as the Senate race because there's a lot of good candidates. All right. Am I the a-hole? Shall we?
Yes.
We shall.
We shall.
You are.
All right. Clearly. I'm going to share screen real quick.
Don't even read it.
All right. Charles, for those people who don't know what this is, can you just tell them?
So there's this website called Reddit, and it's like a social networking website where they put threads and people comment on them. And one of the popular ones is called Am I the Asshole? And people post scenarios in which they would like a conversation to commence about, are they the asshole in the situation, or is the other person the asshole in the situation? And so we decided to pick some popular ones and have brief discussions on them on the show about who the assholes in the situation, and maybe if we can relate to any situation, or sometimes we might have our own Am I the Asshole situation.
So I've got this first one I'm looking at. It's AITA. That's short for Am I the Asshole? For yelling at my aunt after she kept pressuring me to marry her son. Okay.
Her cousin?
Yeah, her cousin.
Wait, can we dive
we do that one? This one, Am I the Asshole for not bringing anything to my friend's potluck after she told me not to? AITA for telling my mom she can't watch my baby.
Well, it depends, maybe.
AITA for refusing to take care of my husband's medical equipment. Which one do you guys want to do?
Well, okay, briefly
one?
on that potluck one, I think it's an interesting conversation because it tells a lot about someone. What would what do you guys think?
If somebody asked me specifically not to bring something, I don't think I would bring something.
No, I know. Well, read the context. What did she say? She said she called it a potluck.
Okay, I'll read it. She said, one of my close friends hosted a dinner at her place last weekend. She called it a potluck and sent a group text saying we should each bring a little something. Oh, okay. Drinks, snacks, whatever. It wasn't anything fancy, just casual. I asked her what I should bring and mentioned I'd be coming straight from work and might be a little rushed. She replied that I didn't need to worry about it. She had plenty of food and just wanted me to come. So I didn't bring anything. I showed up, said hi to everyone, and honestly, the night was going fine. People brought stuff. Oh, I got to open this thing?
No, I think that's enough. I think we get it now. Yes, she's definitely an asshole.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
No.
Wait, you got neither of you think she's the asshole, or he is the asshole?
People brought. Well, go ahead, Brad.
Well, I mean, I'm just. Well, don't hold on. Don't exit out. I'm trying to read to make sure there's any sort of extra, like any extra information here that you didn't read. Basically, this guy was invited to the party and asked, "Can I bring something?" And she said, "No, it's fine. Like it's all covered. Don't worry about it. You don't need to bring anything."
That's
Sorry.
no.
Huh? You're not. He's not an asshole.
No, because the way
he
you
or
just
she-
framed it, he or she, yeah.
He or she says, "I was planning to just clean up or do dishes since I didn't bring anything." And I figure she meant what she said. But later on, while people were complimenting on the food, she made this offhand comment like, "Well, not everyone contributed, but we're still glad she showed up." It is a she. Everyone laughed and it didn't seem super serious, but I felt my face get hot. I didn't know how to respond.
I mean, it sounds like that was just a regular joke. Like neither one of you are assholes, and she just made a joke. Maybe it hurts you a little bit because you have like a certain like that she has a little bit of guilt in her for not bringing something, and maybe she feels inadequate for offering to do the dishes and clean up, which I think is actually a pretty good contribution to the party. And so maybe you need to, I don't know, grow a pair and be okay with a little bit of joke, being the center of attention every once in a while. Right, Charles?
So are you saying they are the asshole or not the asshole?
I don't think either one of them are assholes. That's a great contribution. If someone says, "Hey, it's actually covered. You don't need to bring anything. It's fine," and you make a point to yourself like, "Okay, all right, I'm not going to bring something, but I'm going to clean up. I'm going to do the dishes. I'm going to, that's awesome. That's actually a great contribution. I would argue maybe better than bringing food, but she feels a little guilty. So she doesn't, she gets the joke played on her right in the middle. She's in center of attention for like sort of the butt of a joke. And it's not a mean joke. It's fine. Whatever. I don't know how it was said. It doesn't sound like either one of them are assholes. I think they're both just normal. It's just a normal situation. Like you're with friends and you're the butt of a joke. Okay. Not a big deal. Calm down.
Mikhail?
No.
Oh, I mean, I think it's asking me to pick which one is the asshole. So I'm going to approach it.
You can go with Brad too. You can do that too. That's fair.
I mean, if it were me, I'm thinking through the scenario. She gave her the out. She understood that she was busy. So she was probably like, "No, don't worry about it. I know you're rushing from work. Don't worry about it." You could have stopped and grabbed a bottle of wine. How that would have taken literally 5 minutes.
Sure.
And then you could have contributed. However, the offhanded remark is, the saying a lot of truth is said in jest.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds to me like the girl meant it, which means she's the asshole because she gave her the out. She said she didn't need to bring anything, and then she didn't, and she's holding it against her. Well, if you wanted her to bring something, then you should have said, "I want you to bring something," even if it's just a bottle of wine that you can grab on your way home or on your way here. That would be great. And she didn't. So I'm saying the host is the asshole and women are petty. And that's my read of it.
Wow, that's a really good analysis. I mean,
Love
you're both
it.
wrong, but okay, she's definitely the asshole, guys. Okay, first of all, yes, Michael, there's a little bit of truth in every "I'm just kidding." So there was definitely some animosity there about that. Even if it was a little bit, it's there, and there's a reason you make that joke. Now, yes, this person is absolutely the asshole. It is when the initial request was come over for a potluck, everybody bring something. You reaching back out saying, "Hey, I'm going to be a little rushed. I'm coming from work, blah, 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 blah." It's clearly telling me that you don't want to stop and bring something, or that whatever it is, whatever you may not want to, you might can't, whatever it is. But as the host, I'm gonna be like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna be like, we'll stop and bring something before you get here. Like, no, I made it very clear that you bring something to the potluck. Now you're texting me, telling me that, like, giving me the sob story about running late from work. Okay, don't bring anything then. But then don't get upset later when I make a side joke, which I would not have made the joke because I probably wouldn't really have been mad about it. But you stop and you bring something. You don't go to someone's house without anything, especially if it's something like a potluck where everyone is bringing something. You pick up a bouquet of flowers. Like, you get something and you bring it, and you don't show up empty-handed. And yes, you're the asshole. Now, if they're like best friends, and there's like 3 people there, and you're like, "Hey, listen, like, I'm running late, blah, blah, blah," that's a different story. But if you're having a party and then you show up and you eat up everybody's food and you didn't bring nothing, no, you're the asshole.
You're less of an asshole if it's like your 3 best friends.
It's less of an asshole if you're three best friends.
If it's a big party, like you're less of an asshole. It's a big party. No one's gonna notice. Like there's gonna be a ton of food, way too much food, to be honest. It's always too much food. You're less of an asshole. No one's gonna even notice.
That's exactly what the asshole would think. Is no one's gonna notice.
That's because it's the truth. Look, it doesn't like if I invite you to a potluck at my house, good luck. I would, and I said, you're running from you're on your way from Houston. And whatever your reason, I don't know. You could just say like, hey man, I can't, whatever reason. Okay. I'm not even gonna ask you why. That's no big deal. No big deal, dude. Like you're my friend. No big deal. It's fine. Okay. You're not an asshole. I love you. You're the best. Just come here. Your presence is enough for this potluck.
Me saying, here's the thing. You saying, hey Charles, I know you're coming from Houston. Please don't bring anything. Or me saying, hey, I'm running late. Can I just please not bring something? Is very different than me and being like, hey Brad, like. No, then being like, hey, Brad, I'm running so late. I'm going to be rushed, blah, 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 without directly asking you for the out. Like I'm wanting you to pity me and then say, hey, if you can't bring something, don't bring something. You're trying to set it up and volley the ball into my court so that I can give you the out. And that is what an asshole would do.
No, I think you don't want to bring, if you can't bring something or don't want to bring something for whatever reason to my potluck, Charles, just tell me. And it's going to be
you. Yes, that's different.
Ask me. I don't care.
She didn't tell her or ask her. She asked the girl to give her an out.
What's JD Vance think?
I think that Charles made a very compelling argument. You persuaded me. However, there's a key detail that I think we would need to know to determine if I'm right or if you're right. Brad, you're not right because you didn't pick anybody.
You didn't pick anybody.
It's possible that in any given situation, no one's an asshole.
Someone's always an asshole.
Then it wouldn't be on am I the asshole?
Yes.
Okay.
People post shit on Reddit all the time. That's retarded.
Okay. The key detail is, when did this text exchange happen? If it happened with lead time where she could have planned to stop or planned to make something, then she's the asshole. However, if it happened right before the potluck, I think I'm right. All right. Moving on.
Great conversation.
Am I the asshole for yelling at my aunt after she kept pressuring me to marry my son or her son? No. You're not. Moving on.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, no, you're not. Why are you even asking?
There has to be more context to that.
Well,
your aunt's not yelling at you to marry your cousin.
If you feel like an asshole for that, you're a weirdo.
Yeah, you're an asshole for feeling like an asshole.
They're from Pakistan. Here, cousin marriages are common, and my aunt keeps pressuring me to marry her son.
I heard that was just a teen. I heard that was like just a Central Asian problem, not like a Pakistani problem.
This started in my teen years. Okay, so it's a cultural thing.
Are we doing another asshole thing?
No. I just wanted to close that one out, and then you said there's more details, but no, you're not an asshole for yelling back. I'm just going to stick with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to, all right, April 2nd. Trump announced a huge package of what he's calling reciprocal tariffs for what he's also calling Liberation Day. There's a huge list. I think I have the list of all the countries that all the countries that he's giving tariffs to. There it is.
Well, there's
I'm going to share that on screen. It's a huge list. There it is.
It's the biggest list.
Well, not anymore.
China, I'll get there. I'm gonna get there. China, all these countries. Yep. See, okay. So he's applying all these tariffs, basically saying
Luxembourg on there.
Côte d'Ivoire.
And some of them are as high as 84 on the initial tariffs, up to all the way up to 104 on China, and then as low as 11% on DRC.
Does European Union? That's several countries. He's not listing out like Spain and Portugal as individual countries. Like European Union is not like that's the entity, or that's all the countries.
Israel got a 17% tariff. Philippines 17% tariff. Zambia 17%. So
he put Equatorial Guinea on there too, and Cameroon. DRC is 11%. Huh.
So you guys see the long list. I'm going to stop sharing. So then the stock market takes a little poo-poo. S&P, I checked it this morning. It's down 13.6 from all-time highs in January. The Russell 2000, which is like an index of smaller cap stocks, so smaller companies, it's down 24% from its highs. Wall Street goons are freaking out. Like they're going to crash the economy. As an example, Bill Ackman has been on an X rage pleading with Trump to reverse course, saying he will cause a stock market crash. Blah, blah, blah. Well, this morning he announced he's pausing all tariffs except for the ones on China. And he increased China's to 104%. Question for both of you. Whoever wants to take it first, I don't care. We're not Wall Street tycoons. Are these tariffs causing panic within your world?
My world? No, not at all.
I mean, I live in the world and it's causing panic.
Hmm.
I mean, no, because I feel like I can make up a lot of what I looked at some of my accounts and oof, God, they didn't feel good. So no, but at the same time, I would feel less if there were a clear strategy for tariffs. I think I would feel more confident about it. I mean, it went from tariffs are not negotiable to tariffs are here to stay to they're necessary to raise 1 trillion to tariffs already generating billions, and then now there's a 90-day pause, and so it's just like I don't know. And also, it's not just Wall Street tycoons. Municipal pensions and state pensions are invested heavily in the stock market too. So
True.
I mean, we're talking about average everyday people, and I keep going on Twitter, and they're like the like Rogan O'Hanleys and like these big accounts are cheering him on first and being like, yeah, and they're like, yeah, you suckers, the tariffs are great, blah, blah, blah. Then he rescinds it, and they're like, see, you didn't even see this coming. It's like, are you like really like? Are you guys? I have a lot to say about that.
Are you saying DC Drano's a fucking goon?
Your words, not mine.
The pensions are managed by Wall Street tycoons. They're not individually invested. You know, the person. I'm wondering if you're hearing from normal people that they're like concerned about this. Those public employees you mentioned, I'm not hearing a lot of it. I also think
from people nearing retirement, I am not public employees, just people nearing retirement or in that realm of like, hey, I have this plan. I'm going to retire in 2 years. It's going to last me this long. From folks like that, I've heard concern, but not like nonstop chattering concern. But I've definitely heard it.
It's also been like a week, folks.
Yeah.
You know, give it some time. I mean, last time Trump had economic policy, to his credit, well, whether or not you think the stock market is a good measure, the stock market went bananas under the first Trump administration. And it's been a week since he instituted the tariffs. And on top of that, I don't want to hear anything from Wall Street people about crashing the stock market. Every one of our major stock market crashes were caused by not by tariffs, but by their gambling with various asset classes. So I don't really want to hear anything from them about stock market crashes. Fair. If you know what I'm saying.
Well, sorry. Yeah, the line doesn't always go up. Sorry. I'm pretty sure that every single time that you've invested anywhere ever, they say that there's risk involved. So yeah.
Well, but the line's going to go back up.
Line's going to go back up at some point. So I don't know. This is not financial advice. Invest at your own risk because it's risky, as they say. But maybe now's a good time to buy. I don't know.
Heck yeah.
So the line doesn't always go up, and stop freaking out. And like, you know, you have an entire generation of people that they say will never be able to afford a home, and you're complaining about your retirement account losing, 10% or something like that. Like, yeah, you kind of fucked up. Well, you fucked up generations by voting for these people time and time again, and they printed a bunch of money, and so now everything fucking sucks. So
printed and spent a bunch of money.
Look in the mirror.
And Trump is trying, whether he's doing it strategically or it's going to work, I don't know. But what he thinks he's trying to do is close the deficit by imposing tariffs on other countries who import goods here, charge them money, which gets passed on the consumer, and then he can close the gap. But that's a spending problem. And yes, we've elected those people.
Yeah, but you can't just chalk it up to that. The average person out there who is nearing retirement, who's worked for 50 years and put money away in a 401k or some other retirement account, who's now seeing it eroded, you can't fault them for not being politically engaged and not voting differently. Like, I mean,
then maybe the average person shouldn't be allowed to vote.
My point is that there are more stable. Yes, it's a risk no matter what, but there are more stable options that people opt for, and they do that with a plan for retirement. And so you can't just sit here and be like, "Well, you shouldn't." Like these people were investing in their retirement.
They say that all the time to millennials: pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Stop buying avocado toast. Maybe boomers should stop buying avocado toast. Stop going to cruises.
Those millennials,
they need to stop. Maybe they need to cut back on their lifestyles a little bit rather than voting for people that are just going to print more money and give them more stuff and make their lives, enrich their lives at the expense of their grandchildren and grandchildren. It's not like the system fucking sucks and it's their fault for voting for it.
I don't disagree, but I just think that you can't just chalk it up to that because people
they chalk it up to that anytime
but we're talking about younger people. They have decades upon decades to make up the difference. We're talking about people who are nearing retirement, who have a strategy for what their retirement account sits at for how long it can make them last when they're not working. We're not talking about millennials who have 40 years to make up whatever is lost. We're talking about, or to buy a home, or to whatever the case is. We're about people who are nearing retirement who had a nest egg or whatever it was in a rather comfortable diversified 401k or something like that are now seeing some of those gains eroded. That's who we're talking about.
Yeah, but the problem that Brad's illuminating here, which I agree with, is that in order to enable the stock market to go up 7.5% per year so that you reach your target gains annually so that you can live that life, we have to print and spend a whole bunch of money, because that's how it was achieved the past 20, 30, 40 years, is spending or printing and spending. So yes, we can't just chalk it up all to that, but at some point we're going to have to, the chickens are going to come home to roost. And I think Trump, to his credit, is trying to solve that even at the margins with this tariff policy. I don't know that it's going to work. I'm just saying at least he's trying something a little bit different than, let's just print it. Let's just print more money. Let's just drop rates to zero and print more money. And that'll make the stock market go up and these boomers will be okay. Because that's just passing it on to us to deal with. And it's going to be a worse problem. And it's going to be a much worse problem. So I appreciate his attempt to address it, but I don't know that it's going to work because I'm not an expert. And if you listen to Douglas Murray, you're not allowed to talk about things unless you're an expert. How about that for a tangent?
Well, all I know is that Fidelity has sent me, I think, 3 emails in the past 3 days that say, "We're here for you during this time of economic uncertainty." I'm like, in what way? Like, how are you here for? You're going to give me more money? Like, how are you here for me?
Put your money in Bitcoin. Okay. All right. I've got a couple more topics, but I think we're going to do that one. All right. What is going on with RFK Jr.? So first, back in March, he had this long post. Everybody's heard it by now, but I can show it again about anti-Semitism and it being a health issue. Let's read it if I can find it. God, I have so many tags up.
Crash? I don't know.
You didn't hear that sound coming from Charles's single family home?
No. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it because I have 1 million tabs.
What are you talking? Are you talking about the anti-Semitism from anti-Semitism is a public health risk or whatever?
That one. Yep. So he does that. We don't need to read it. Everybody's seen it, right? And then the JFK files come out, and we're about to release the files on his father's death, and I haven't heard a freaking peep from him on either of those things. And then just this week, he posted this lengthy post on X about the measles outbreak in Texas and that the MMR vaccine is the most effective way to prevent the spread. When he authored the foreword of a book where he claimed that the MMR vaccine caused autism. So how do you square this circle? Who's this new RFK? So some people are speculating. Well, first, there's been a huge backlash from like his closest supporters, but then others like Candace Owens, Ian Carroll are speculating that he's being blackmailed and that they have evidence and are going to do a whole investigation and series on it. So, Brad, are you interested in this story? Do you think that he is being blackmailed, or is he just like a 4D chess player and we don't know it?
What's the 4D chess in this scenario? Like I could go ahead.
He's playing the game right now. He just had a cabinet meeting with Trump today where they were discussing what he's working on. And he said Trump has given him the authority to figure out what is causing autism, and we will know, this is what he's saying, by September. They're doing a full study of what causes autism, and he said it, quote, we will know by September.
Yeah, he's going to come out and be like,
him.
what causes it is not getting the MMR vaccine. That's what he's going to say. So he's going to tell everybody to go get it real quick.
He just asked me what the 4G. He just asked me what the 4D chess scenario was, and I'm explaining it. So
I don't know how that's 4D chess to say, hey, go get the MMR vaccine, but also like how those two. Like, I mean,
so he's a complete charlatan.
Well, Kennedy comes from the school of thought that, vaccines, there are harms to vaccines. I don't think that's controversial that vaccines cause harms. That's the reason why the vaccine manufacturers are indemnified, and you cannot sue them. They're not financially responsible for any damage. They are, what's the term that they were given? Unavoidably unsafe. And so, for him to say, hey, go get the MMR, it's the only way to do this, and then say, we're going to figure out the root cause of autism. It sounds like you're making the connection, Michael, that the 4D chest is going to be in September. He's going to come out and say the vaccines cause it. But if he knows that, then he's telling people to get autism, and that's 4D chest? Doesn't make sense. But we're not going to find out in September. I'm going to break the news right now. It's not going to happen.
So is he a charlatan or is he being blackmailed?
I would imagine he's being blackmailed. That's a really super duper long con to like write forwards for books and start like websites and organizations and spend your entire life talking about this and like advocating for, patient rights and everything, just to come out like within the first couple months, be like, all right, fuck you guys, get your fucking vaccines. Seems odd. Seems like a really weird con. So I would think that he's being blackmailed. But again, breaking news, you're not going to find out in September. He's not going to tell you. You're welcome.
What about October? So he blackmailed. Charles, you're much more neutral on these issues, I would say, and on RFK, and maybe a little bit more skeptical of him than Brad and I. What is your take?
A little more. I never trusted this guy as far as I could throw him. And the whole cabal of people who surrounded him, pushing the whole cabal of people around him, being like, just chug beef tallow and you'll be fine and everything. While I do think beef tallow is good for you, or is good and better than a lot of other things, I never gave any credibility to this. Like, sure, there are some good ideas in there about how, your diet is more impactful to your health than a lot of these other things. Like, yeah, he says generally good things here and there, but I never believed any of this crap. And I don't know why anybody did. Never worship false idols. In my high school, somebody went around putting that on the bathroom walls all day. I mean, I don't know if he's being blackmailed. I don't know if he's a charlatan. I feel as though it's more, I feel like these are his beliefs. Like if you fought a lifetime against a lot of these issues, and you genuinely believed like all these issues about children, and you're super empathetic and believed it in your core of core, I don't know what level of blackmail would be required for you to then suddenly, like, in this instance, if he truly believes what he believes about children and vaccines, what level of blackmail would force you to send a bunch of kids to get vaccines if you believe they have autism? Like that has got to be a level of blackmail we have not seen before. But what I do believe is that
I can tell you.
Yeah.
Someone's going to say something anti-Semitic on a college campus, and he can't stand for that. Anti-Semitic on a college campus.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure what.
I don't think I fully understand. I mean, I know
you don't either. Are you guys?
I know it's a joke, but I'm not following the joke.
Oh God, that's the blackmail. He's really worried about anti-Semitism. It's like the first thing he did as HHS secretary was announce that anti-Semitism is like a national health risk.
And if he doesn't promote the MMR vaccine, somebody on a college campus might be anti-Semitic.
Yes, I know.
He is very concerned.
Okay, yeah, good joke. Anyway, I don't believe.
So how do you address, Charles? How do you address Brad's point, though, that he's been doing this for decades? He was just playing a long con for decades, and then once he got power, he
long
He's like, yeah,
continuity Trump's HHS secretary, like
Bernie Madoff played that con game for like 50 years.
That's
Like,
a lot of money, though.
There's a lot of money to what I mean. Did RFK Jr. not make a lot of money in this realm? No, I don't. Listen, I'm not saying he's necessarily a con man. I think maybe his views changed. Maybe he never was so solidly in that camp. He led people to believe that he was because he saw the notoriety and popularity it gave him. And now we're seeing history goes. How is this any different than any other elected official? I know he's not an elected official, but any elected official who gets elected and then does everything they said they weren't going to do when they were running for office?
It's not. It's a very solid point. And here's the thing. And I'm just probably rationalizing it for myself here, which is fine. Self-preservation.
Wait,
we
I'm
all
sorry.
do it.
Before you go there, can I say one thing?
Yep.
The moment your guys' eyes should have been open was when he took that damn picture eating McDonald's in that plane after preaching about how bad McDonald's was. And he's sitting there with a fork and a knife about to cut into a Big Mac.
I defended him. You're right. I defended him. But here's the point I'm going to make. That's self-preservation.
I mean, that's not the moment, but that's fine. There's a better moment.
There was the okay.
It was
the what?
Shake Shack.
Shake Shack?
Look at how he's standing in Shake Shack. That's not the stance of a normal person. Why is he standing that way?
Because he's like 70.
What?
Go ahead, Michael.
They just caught him mid-step.
No,
and this is this is a great place to end the show. The people in power and the U.S. government has been lying to us for so long on so many things that when somebody at least is perceived as being honest with us, finally telling us the truth about some things, whether they be your diet is a huge impact on your health, which the government was fucking lying to us about, and at least Kennedy had the courage to say that. We probably put too much stake in their overall integrity. I did this for the first time with Ron Paul in 2008 because he's a man of integrity and he was telling us the fucking truth for once. So give us a little bit of grace.
Hell yeah.
Give me like a 6-month window. I already flipped on the Kash Patel FBI Epstein files stuff. I'm so sick of these people lying to us that I'm like desperate for someone who finally is going to tell us the truth, that I will overlook McDonald's photos and very weird stances in a Shake Shack to believe that somebody's finally going to unveil the truth for us. But I guess we're still waiting.
We're going to be waiting till September, but I don't know that he means September of this. I don't know if he means this September of this year,
like September 2086.
Yeah, something like that.
All right,
my son likes.
It's a great.
Seems
song.
like a good place to. Seems like a good place to end the show,
guys. I want you to know that it is the 6-week anniversary. In case you guys are interested in the Epstein files being released to conservative influencers, so in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Come on, Trump.
Have you not seen the helicopter crash?
No. All right.
No.
Thanks.
The helicopter
Thanks,
crash.
guys. Great, great show again. See you next week. Have a great weekend.